Greetings everyone, and welcome to Alien's FireTeam Elite. In this video we're going to review the best perks for the Technician class, and we're going to start with perks you can only access by leveling up the Technician, because I do understand that a lot of people won't have the time to just level up the classes initially, so let's have a look at the first build using only the Technician perks. Before we have a closer look at all the perks, I have to mention something about the charge coil. There is a bug, in case you don't know it. The recharge time does not stack. So let me give you a demonstration. Now we have 22% ability recharge. When we use the charge coil, we have a 20 seconds cooldown, as you can see on the left. Let's replace it now with another recharge time. So remove this, add another recharge time. Now we have a 42% recharge speed. We're going to use once again the charged coils and yes, 20 seconds cooldown once again. So this is the first thing you need to avoid when you play the Technician class. Do not stack recharge time for the charged coils. It does work for other skills, for the turret, which has no point, and to other classes. I really hope they fix it soon, because I really want to invest more in the charged coil, especially the recharge time. Just make something insane. I do believe we can go less than 15 seconds, which would be insane for the charge coils and would be a much better build. So with that in mind, we only apply the best recharge speed in the game, which is 22% currently. You can buy this from the vendor, you don't unlock it from any class. That's why I have included it in this build, and I combine it with extended duration 3, so it will increase the duration of an ability by 18%. This way, in case you want to just save all your charge coils for crucial moments, you can throw the first charge coil in equip position. Before the cooldown expires, you will still have the charge coil active, making it a little better. I like this combination, and I do highly recommend it. Moving on to the turret option. Of course, we're going with the Incinerator turret as a default. It's the best against the Xenos and the armies. Although if you face Synthos in a couple of missions, I do recommend to switch it up with Heavy Turret. That's why I have placed my grid like this. I do recommend to play the reverse Tetris game. If you want to replace, let's say, one perk, you just leave it without breaking the whole grid, and the same goes for the Incinerator turret. And I just can replace it with Heavy Turret. But 90% of the time you want the Incinerator turret, because it deals arguably the most damage and it's most useful. Let's have a look at the rest of the perks for the turret. Dynamic Delivery System, one of the best, fires 10% faster and deals 25% extra damage to armor. It's insane, especially against armor Xenos. It's insane, especially against armor Xenos. Real-time Resource Reclamation. I do recommend it if you start playing in the Technician and you get used to it. Placing your turret, it gets destroyed. It's one of the best perks. If it gets destroyed, you get a bonus damage AoE explosion for the enemies, and it also reduces its cooldown by 5 seconds, the recharge time. So in case it gets destroyed, you have only 10 seconds cooldown instead of 15. So it's one of the best, and I do highly recommend for beginning players to use the real-time resource reclamation. Compatibility Matrix. While this ability is active, you deal 10% more damage, stacks up to 3 times. I was informed that this may not stack 3 times with a turret, and it can stack with the charge coils, but because I don't use charge coils so aggressively, I do prefer to have it in the sentry turret. Worst case scenario, you will deal 10% more damage, but if it stacks, you will deal 30% more damage, which it's quite insane. Moving on, Scalable Machine Learning. It's one of the best, honestly, perks, especially considering that your Incinerator turret will kill multiple targets, and you can get a 50% reload speed and stability, which beats all the core perks by far. So it's very highly recommended, especially up to intense difficulty, when your Incinerator turret would devastate the Xenos, and you get an insane damaging boost by reloading so fast. This is actually one of the good ones. You and your turret deal 10% more damage to slowed enemies. You slow the enemies with the charge coils or the combo with the Incinerator, so 10% more damage not only for you but for your turret. If this is for 10% damage for either of us, I don't know if I was going to use it, but it's essentially 20% increased damage, because both your turret and ourselves deal extra damage. The combination of Resonating Impact and Deep Leverage is quite nice. Your turret can stumble a target, a take more damage for 6 seconds, and it gets a 10% chance to stumble. And we have the tip leverage that your turret should the target affected by the other perk, this one, they get a 15% chance to be knocked down. And it can occur only 1 per 10 seconds, but a nice combination to just have some crowd control, especially this works in Armored Zeke as well, so quite insane. Now this is a flex slot because I'm not sure if the Force Multiplier 2 can be acquired by the Technician, because I did mention these perks will be going with the Technician. In case you haven't unlocked Force Multiplier 2 to increase further the damage of the turret, you can replace it with something else. There are a couple of suggestions. I do recommend, for example, Charge Coil to also reduce the damage for the enemies that deal by 25%. Or you can use Extended Duration 2 or Enhanced Reach. And because of the placement like this, we can replace it and, for example, go with Enchanted Reach, let's say, or Enchanted Duration, and just place it to the charge coils, and we just have replaced something like that. That's why I have placed the perks like this. They are easy to replace and make your changes that you want. But in case you have unlocked the Force Multiplier, yes, of course, this is much better. And finally, we move on to the next flex slot. The Technician Handgun Training increased the accuracy and weak point damage of handguns by 15%. I mean, this is a flex slot because you can either go with this or the Technician CQW Training, although you only get the reload speed. And since we get already reload speed in the scalable machine learning, I believe it's kind of overkill. And I do believe that the handgun's extra 15% weak point damage, it's quite nice. Especially if you're using a handgun with high weak point damage, you will be able to kill the Xenos much faster. But in case you don't want to rely so much on your weapons and you're just happy with a scalable machine learning, you can replace this with a couple of Enchanted Duration, Enchanted Reach to further increase charge coil efficiency. And these are the perks when you have unlocked only Technician perks. This is the build. But now I'm going to show you the build I would like to run in case you have unlocked, let's say, the core or modifiers from other classes. And this is the spec I'd like to run in case I have unlocked multiple perks from other classes. I don't focus so much on the charge coils, I only add the quick charge 4, the incinerator turret, dynamic delivery system, compatibility matrix, force multiplier remain the same, as well as the scalable machine learning, resonating impact, deep leverage, and creative pain point solutions. We have added to the turret the force multiplier 3 to further increase its DPS. We have also included in the scalable machine learning the modular integration. That way we have a 25% fire rate increase. The accuracy is quite welcome, but firing our weapons 25% faster can be actually quite insane. That's why I like this combination with the scalable machine learning. And thanks to Odysseus82, thank you very much for pointing out the down and out perk from the Demolisher. We deal 20% more damage to enemies that are stunned or knocked. Thanks to the resonating impact, we will stun them and knock them back, and our teammates as well, and we just deal 20% plain extra damage. And this build, as you can see, focuses a lot on increasing our damage as well as our turrets, and not so much our charge coils. Although the 22% recharge speed is actually quite good, it's the best thing we can do at the moment. And this is a good spec to run for solo, even for intense difficulty. You may be able to do some missions, because you do a lot of damage, especially your turret, having insane reload speed, fire rate, increased damage. It's actually quite good. And finally, I'm going to show you another spec in case you want to go a little more the support role, especially if you don't have a doc in the party and you want someone to just fill out that part a little bit. And this is the build that focuses more on crowd control and support for the group, especially in case, as I told you, you don't have a doc and you want someone to fulfill a little bit that role for the support. We have, once again, the incinerator turret remains unchanged, dynamic delivery system, compatibility matrix, scalable machine learning, resonating impact, deep leverage, and the quick charge 4 for the coils. But we changed so many other things. The charge coils, as you can see now, have an ability duration by an extra 40%. We have added the extended duration 4 and the extended duration 3. And also we have the disruptive technology. This is also bought from the vendor. They reduce the damage dealt by the affected enemies by 25%, which will help a lot. And this is one of the most important perks. In case you don't have a dog, someone must have it, especially someone that can survive longer. The Surgeon Hand. We will no longer be stumbled while interacting with objects, reviving allies or using an aid kit. So this makes perfect. In case someone goes down, you can just revive them, even if it's a Xeno nearby and you don't have the time to kill it. And finally, a flex slot, a bedside manner. You can pick up down allies twice as fast, and your allies' team split out time is increased by 25%. Also very useful in case you don't have a dock. You can just revive everyone else fast, and also have the bleed out increased by 25%. And from intense difficulty and higher, this can make a huge difference. Someone, I think, must have this, at least one in the team, to just give us the time. And this combination of these two is probably a must in case you don't run the dock. So we have increased bleed out time, and he can just revive everyone twice as fast without being able to get stumbled. Yes, we sacrifice a little bit of DPS, especially with the extended duration, but we're focusing more of the charge coils. They have a much longer duration, debuff the enemies, we can raise everyone else. We don't deal so much damage with the incinerator turret, but we still have the scalable machine learning, so this could also be a flex slot in case you don't proc it as often. You can replace this with something else, especially if you go for higher difficulties, or something like creative pain point solutions to get a standard 10% damage increase for both your turret and yourself. And I do want to try the hit and run tactics, but I need to unlock it 6th level of the Recon class. I haven't leveled it up yet. It seems nice, 20% stun recovery, 20% grapple damage resistance, and 10% movement speed. It could be very nice to just be able to run around, dodge the enemies, and the stun recovery can be also be quite helpful. But I have to make more tries. I only did 1 level or 2 levels, I think, in extreme difficulty, not the last one before this. Running with a technician, and I found a good group and we wanted to do a couple of missions with a different completely build, and I do have to try it because I do want to see how the technician performs in higher difficulties. But I do believe that the second build, this one, is one of the best for you to try out up to intense difficulty or even to extreme if you run with some friends or a good group or a decent group. And I really hope that this video will help you choose your perks and overall spec and build for the technician class. Actually, I have made other videos for you to choose your weapons and why the incinerator turret is the best, and I do intend to prepare a separate video for extreme and insane difficulties for the technician after I try it a little more. What builds are the best, especially when you run with a group, either with a dock, with another support class, or 2 DPS classes. But for now, everything I said works great. Even for solo, the spec is very nice. The technician for now is my favorite class for Aliens FireTeam Elite, although I have tested all the other classes except for the Recon, but I played with some Recon class in some multiplayer, and I do find his abilities very interesting, and we have access to very decent weapons actually. I do believe slow but steady I will level up all the classes and make some builds. So I really hope that this video will help you choose your perks and everything else. So feel free to like if you liked, and you can subscribe. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos for Aliens, FireTeam Elite and other video games. And as always, I wish you all a wonderful day.